Hey everyone, so today we are going to be making kind of like a tribute doll. It's Charlie Kirk, and as you can see we have the MAGA hat, the US flag, and just an outfit that he wore on one of his final days. I hope he rests in peace. So we are going to make this together, and I will let you know the materials now that we'll use. So we are going to need a 1.9mm hook, but feel free to use anywhere between a 1.75 and a 3mm hook, especially if you are using 4-ply cotton yarn. So here you can see I have 4-ply cotton yarn. We have it in flesh pink, white, black, red, and dark brown. So those are the colors that you'll be needing today. And if you don't have 4-ply cotton yarn and you have your own style yarn that you're used to, feel free to use that with the hook that you are also used to, because this pattern is universal, so it should be able to work with whatever you are using as your yarn and your hook. You will also need some 6 or 7mm black safety eyes. Then you'll need some fiber filling. You'll need a pair of cutters. And of course, you will need a sewing or leather needle. You can use a tapestry needle, but for some of the more detailed parts, like this embroidery section here, we're going to be using only 1-ply cotton yarn. And I am just going to be using the smallest needle that I can use. So this is a leather needle just because of how it looks at the top here, but feel free to use a sewing needle that has a really small but sharp end over here, and then it will also have a small eye as well. So those are the materials that you're going to be needing today. Let us get straight into it. Okay, so we're going to start out by using some 4-ply black cotton yarn, as you can see here. So this is how we're going to do it. We are going to start off by making a magic ring. So as we make the magic ring, by the way, if you do not know how to make a magic ring, check out my beginner tutorial playlist for crochet. Go check that out, and you'll see a bunch of videos there that you can learn and master those techniques, and then come back and you'll be able to perform any one of my tutorials as you follow it along. So let's make ourselves a magic ring right now. So there we go, there's our magic ring. And then from here we are going to make 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. And as we do that, I just want to let you know that I usually work like this. I have the yarn coming underneath the hook first, and then the yarn goes over the hook second to work through those 2 loops on the hook. So I call that yarn under, yarn over. So let's just do it again. Yarn under first, and then yarn over, just like that. Feel free also to do yarn under, but I wouldn't recommend yarn over, just because you're left with a little bit more spaces, unless you are some type of professional crocheter and you're so used to it. No problem at all. Feel free to go for your life. But if you need like a quick rundown of those 3 different single crochet types, go check out that link up there. I've just linked it as a card there for you. So let us continue now these 6 single crochet stitches. So that's 3, 4, 5. And as we do the 6th one, I just want to tell you one more thing. Once you pull through that second, so once you have your single crochet stitch at this point, when you pull the yarn through those 2 loops in the hook, you want to make sure that your hook is kind of vertical, not pulling from the side. You want it to be vertical, and that just helps to align those stitches as you go, especially if you are crocheting in a spiral. Now, feel free to crochet in a spiral at this point. I'm going to complete this tutorial with a slip stitch and chain 1. If you do end up crocheting in a spiral, make sure you use a stitch marker, and you may have to adjust those arm stitches when we get to it, but feel free to do that at your own leisure. So let me just show you here now. I'm finishing off with a slip stitch and chain 1, as you can see here, and now we are up to round number 2. So for round number 2, we are just going to be making increases in every stitch space. So an increase just means 2 single crochet stitches inside the 1 stitch space. It's a bit hard to see it because it's black, but essentially it's just 2 single crochet stitches inside the 1 stitch space. So have a look at this. This is number 1, and then this one here is number 2. And I want you to just complete this another 4 times. And in the end, you will have 12 stitches in the round. So let us complete round 2 now, and then we'll do round 3 together. Okay, so we're up to round number 3, and this is what we're going to do for round number 3. We're first going to be making a single crochet stitch followed by an increase, 1 and 2. And we're just going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So single first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2, just like that. And now you can repeat this another 4 times. You will have 18 stitches at the end of round number 3. And now we're up to round number 4, and this is what we'll be doing. So we are going to be making the feet or the legs at this point. And to do it, we'll just first start off by making 5 single crochet stitches. So here's number 2, here's number 3, number 4, and number 5. And before you complete the 5th single crochet stitch, I want you to change your yarn color to brown. Now I do have a whole video on how to change yarn color, so feel free to check that out again in the crochet beginner tutorial playlist, so go check that out if you haven't already. But here on stitch number 5, we're changing our yarn color to brown, and we're going to pull that brown through just like that. And then from here, it's going to be a little bit different, because we are not making a single crochet stitch right here. Instead, we're not coming here, but we're coming directly underneath, as you can see right here. And so that there is called a spike. And we are making a spike bubble stitch. So for a bubble stitch, you need to wrap the yarn and then come directly down here, just like that. And then pull the yarn up. Pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and you'll be left with 2 loops on the hook, just like that. Let's do it again. Wrap the yarn, come in the same space, pull the yarn up, and pull through 2 loops on the hook, just like that. I think we've missed a little bit of a thread there. There we go. 3 loops on the hook left over. And one more time, wrap the yarn, same space, pull up the yarn, and pull the yarn through 2. And now you are left with 4 loops on the hook. And this is where we're going to change the yarn color back to black. So grab your black colored yarn now and pull that through all 4 loops on the hook, just like that. And now we're just going to continue on with the first single crochet stitch. You are going to weave those brown yarn tails over the top of the hook. So that's 1 single crochet stitch. We can leave those brown yarn colors now. Here we'll make the second one, and you might want to just pop this out just like that. Give these brown yarn tails a little bit of a tug as well. So that's the second. Here's the third. Here's the fourth. And finally, here is the 5th. And on the 5th one, again, we're going to change back to our brown colored yarn. Pull that brown through and work another spike bubble stitch. So not coming here, but you're coming down here. Wrap the yarn first, pull up the yarn, pull through 2. Wrap the yarn first, pull up the yarn, pull through 2. And we'll do it one more time. I'll just get that through. There we go. Wrap the yarn, come in the same stitch space, pull up the yarn, and pull through 2 loops on the hook. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 now on the hook. Grab your black colored yarn, pull through. There you go. That's the second foot or shoe already done there. And now all you need to do is complete the remaining 6 single crochet stitches in round number 4 with black colored yarn, and have for the first one at least that brown colored yarn over the top of the hook as you complete that first single crochet stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and remember, keep this vertical, and 6, just like that. Come into your very first stitch and make a slip stitch and chain 1. Push this the right way around, and as you can see, we've got the feet there already. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so we are up to round number 5, and round number 5 is super simple. You're just making 18 single crochet stitches for this round. So I'll let you guys complete round number 5, and on that 18th single crochet stitch, we are going to change the yarn color to white. So we will do that together. Actually, no, I don't think we're changing to white at that point. So I'll show you everything that we need to do after this round. So let's come back after this round. Alright, so we're up to round number 6, and we haven't changed the yarn color here because we're doing something else beforehand. So chain 1 as normal. And then from here, all we're going to do is come into the front and back loops and just make a slip stitch, just like that, and keep these slip stitches a little bit loose as well. So here's the second slip stitch, and here's the third, and you can see how I'm making them a little bit loose, so I'm kind of pulling them up a little bit first before I pull it through the other loop on the hook. And I'm just going to do this all the way around to complete this round. So this is round number, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5, this is round number 6 here. And we will have to change the yarn colors after the completion of this, but we will do that together. Alright, so this is round 6 now, and I have finished the last slip stitch over here, and I'm about to perform the slip stitch and chain 1. But first, let's get rid of our brown colored yarn, just because we don't really need the brown colored yarn anymore, and it kind of is just getting in the way at this point. Okay, so come into your very first slip stitch of the round, and instead of pulling black through, or actually you can pull black through, so let's do this. Pull it through and make that slip stitch. And then with your white yarn, all you're going to do at this point is chain 1, just like that. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we are going to be making single crochet stitches. And these single crochet stitches are going to be in the back loops only of that slip stitch. So if you can see here, I've got my hook now in the back loop only, and I'm going to make a single crochet stitch right there, just like that. And then here's another one, back loop only, single crochet stitch, back loop only, single crochet stitch, one more to show you, back loop only, single crochet stitch, just like that. And you're going to complete 18 single crochet stitches in the back loop only for round number 7. Finish that round right now, and I'm just making the slip stitch and chain 1 to completely finish that off. And now I'm going to cut the black yarn as well, push this inside, and now I'm going to continue on with rounds 8 and 9, which is single crochet stitches. So as you can see here, we're making single crochet stitches for the next 2 rounds, all in white, not in the back loops or front loops, it's just in both of those loops, or that stitch space, as you can see here. So let's come back after rounds 8 and 9 together. We are now up to round number 10, so this is what we're going to do. This is where we are also going to incorporate the arms. So let's do this together. We're going to start up with 4 single crochet stitches, 1 2 3, and here's number 4. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your flesh pink colored yarn. As you can see here, we've got some flesh pink colored yarn, and we're going to change the yarn color to flesh pink on that 4th single crochet stitch. So technically it's ready to be changed on the 5th. So now what we will do at this point is we're going to make the arm. So I'm grabbing these 2 yarn tails here. I'm going to wrap my yarn over the hook and not come into the next stitch space here. Instead, I'm coming down to the spike, which is 1 below, have the hook enter into that, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. Let's do it again. Wrap the yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2, wrap the yarn, pull it up and pull through 2. There, we've got 4 loops on the hook, just as you did in the foot. And now we're going to grab the white colored yarn at this point and pull through all 4 loops on the hook, just like that. And then for the next 7 single crochet stitches, you're going to do those in white, and just for the first one, have the flesh pink over the hook. So here's number 1. Here's number 2. I've kind of just trailed off those flesh pink colored yarn tails underneath at the same time. So I'm just going to do that. So 4, you don't need to, but I'm just going to do it. Here's number 5, number 6, number 7, and here we're going to change to flesh pink colored yarn. So grab that flesh pink again, pull through just like that, and then from here wrap the yarn, come into this stitch space right here, not here but 1 below for the spike, pull up the yarn, pull through 2, wrap the yarn, same space, pull the yarn up and pull through 2, one more time, wrap the yarn, pull the yarn up and pull through 2. 4 loops on the hook, change your yarn color back to white, just like that. And for the remaining 5 single crochet stitches, you're going to have them in white, and for the very first one, have that flesh pink yarn tail over the hook. So let's just complete that, and then let's come back together at the end of this round. There we go, and that's round 10 now completed, as you can see here. So we're looking good. Now, if you did crochet in a spiral and you need to adjust where those little stitches go, feel free to do that as well. Okay, so back to this now. We are going to start round number 11 and we'll do the following. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. And this is how we make the invisible decrease. Have your hook enter the front loop only of the next stitch, and then directly again into the front loop of the next stitch space, and pull the yarn through, and then pull the yarn through those 2 loops on the hook, and that there is an invisible decrease like that. Let's do it again. So single crochet stitch first, followed by invisible decrease, 2 front loops, pull through, pull through. Let's do it again. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, single crochet stitch, followed by invisible decrease, and you're going to repeat that now all the way until you reach the end of this round number 11. So I'll let you guys do that, and then we'll come back together at the end of round number 11. And as you can see here, this is my final decrease. And so what I want to do at this point is I'm going to pull the white yarn through. I'll have 2 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to change the yarn color to flesh pink and pull that flesh pink through those 2 loops on the hook. Come into my very first stitch space of that round and make a slip stitch and chain 1 now with my flesh pink colored yarn. I'm going to give this a little bit of a chop because we don't need those yarn colors anymore, and I will have these pushed inside. So there we go. All right, let's start round number 12. For round number 12, we are only working in the back loops, as you can see here. So just that back loop. And then we're going to pull up the flesh pink colored yarn to make a single crochet stitch. In the next stitch space, back loop only, we will make an increase. So here you can see 1, come in the same space, here's number 2. And that is the pattern I want you to repeat now all the way around. So back loop only, single crochet stitch first, back loop only, increase 1 and 2. And I'm going to let you do that another 4 times. You will have 18 single crochet stitches after round number 12. We have just finished that round and we are on to round number 13. So here we go. We'll start off with this single crochet stitch, followed by another single crochet stitch, followed by an increase 1 and, oops, don't want to tug that, and 2. Let's do it again. So 2 single crochet stitches first, 1, here's the second, followed by an increase 1 and 2, and just repeat that pattern, 2 singles and an increase all the way around. You will have 24 stitches at the end of round number 13, and we have finished that round now. So for the next 4 rounds, that's rounds 14, 15, 16 and 17, you're just going to be making single crochet stitches. So there will be a total of 24 single crochet stitches in the round, and you will complete that for the next 4 rounds. So I will let you do that. Pause the video and come back once you finish that, and then we will start round number 18 together. 14, 15, 16 and 17 are all single crochet stitches, 24 in each round. And we have just finished those 4 rounds. As you can see here, we are looking fantastic. So now there's only a couple more rounds left to go. So for this next round, we are going to be doing the following, and it is not too difficult. It's just 2 single crochet stitches first, followed by an invisible decrease. And remember that invisible decrease is where you have your hook come through the front loops of the next 2 stitch spaces, pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through. So let's do it again. Single crochet stitch first, followed by the second single crochet stitch, and then we have that invisible decrease that comes next. So I want you to repeat that another 4 times, and at the end of this round you will have 18 stitches in the round. And there we are, all finished with that round. We only have 2 more rounds to go, and if you want to fast forward, you can have a look where I put the eyes. I'm going to complete 1 more round before I do that, but you might find it a bit difficult to add the stuffing and put those eyes in, so feel free to fast forward and then come back to see this round. So for this round, super simple. Again, we're making 1 single crochet stitch followed by an invisible decrease, and we're just going to repeat that pattern a total of 6 times. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. Repeat that another 4 times to finish this round. Slip stitch, chain 1 if you're doing it like me, or continue in that spiral. Let's finish after this round. Okay, so after this round, I'm just going to chain 1, but this time I'm going to pull that chain a little bit out, like you can see here, and this is just so it doesn't unravel later on. And I'm going to now add my eyes. So I'm going to add the eyes, and then I'm going to tell you exactly where I position them. So I have placed my eyes between rounds 15, which is here, and 16. So they are placed in between rounds 15 and 16, and at least 2 stitch spaces in between those eyes. And those eyes kind of come in between the arms and the legs as best as you can position those as well. So that's what I would suggest you guys to do. And then at this point, you're going to be adding your fiber filling to the body, and I want you to do that in layers. So if you just add a little bit at a time, and then to condense it, use a yarn cutter or something like that to really push it in layer by layer until you get right to the top of the head. So I'm going to let you guys do that, and then we'll come back after this is filled with fiber filling. So remember, layer by layer, and condense it in there each layer as well. And as you can see, we've filled him up all the way to the top, which is fantastic, and this is what we're looking like so far. Now all I want you to do is place your hook back inside this little circle where we had that chain. Remember how we chained this there? Just make sure you're doing that the right way as well, because you don't want to get tangled up later on. And then from here, it's the last round, guys, so we are only going to be making 6 decreases in total if you finished each round with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now if you did crochet in a spiral, I only want you to make 5 decreases. So go back if you need to rewind that and hear what I said. So 5 decreases only in the last round if you crocheted in a spiral, and then in the next stitch you will make a slip stitch. So that's just a little bit of a difference there for those two things. So here we go, we are onto our last decrease, invisible decrease here. So I'm going to make that there, and because I finished with a slip stitch and chain 1, I'm going to do exactly that to finish this off. Pull the yarn through, and I'm going to leave myself around about a 15 centimeter yarn tail, just like that. If you need to fill this up anymore, feel free to do so. Mine is pretty full, so I'm going to leave it as is. And now I'm going to grab my needle and show you what to do to close that gap up at the top. So this is how we're going to close up the gap. So you've got your needle, you will thread that yarn through the eye of a needle, and then you're going to come through each of those remaining stitch spaces, but only in the front loops. So just front loops only there, and don't pull too tight at this point. Here's the second one for me, third one, fourth one, fifth, and I'll have 6. If you crocheted in a spiral, you will have 7. And then at this point, you are going to pull in a clockwise manner, and watch this. I'm pulling, 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 and it will close up that gap. Push it through so that there's no bumps or anything there. So give it a little bit of a tug, and then have the needle come right through the center, come out anywhere in the face, and then pull it in, keep it nice and flat. Use your needle to make any adjustments, just like that. And now we need to weave this in to keep it secure. So can you see how we have this sort of, let's have the camera stop shaking. Can you see this X on each of these stitches? And then this diagonal line comes above this one underneath here. So we're going to follow that diagonal line with our yarn. And I'm just going to do that 3 or 4 times in total, and I won't pull too tightly at this point either, because I just want it to flow over the top of that other line so you can have a seamless transition as you weave this in. You can't even see it anymore, which is perfect. So I'll do it maybe another 2 times just to fully secure it. And remember, don't pull too tight, just make sure it's gone and it looks good and you can't even see it. Boom. Just like that. Cut the excess yarn, and we will push any remaining piece inside, just like that. And there we go. There is the body all finished for this plushie. So there you go. Okay, so at this point we're going to make the hair in dark brown colored yarn. So we're going to start off by making a magic ring, just as you guys are now used to. So magic ring right there, and then we're just going to work 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So this is number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. And if I'm going a little bit too fast at this point, feel free to pause the video and come back when you're ready. Pull that yarn tail to close the gap of your magic ring, and then come into the very first stitch space and make yourselves a slip stitch and chain 1. So we're not going to crochet in a spiral at all for the hair, no need. Okay, for the second round, we are going to make increases in each of the 6 stitch spaces. So that will be 6 in total, giving us 12 stitches after the completion of round number 2. And that's the second round now complete. Finish off with slip stitch and chain 1. In the third round, you're going to be making a single crochet stitch followed by an increase, and we just repeat that 6 times, guys, and we will have 18 stitches at the end of round number 3. And now that we've finished round number 3, we have only made a slip stitch at this point. We haven't started chaining, and the reason is because we need to start making our hair strands from this point. So this here will be our first hair strand, and so we're going to crochet 2 chains, or we're going to chain 2. So you can see I've just chained 2 right there, and then I'm coming into the very first loop next to the base. So this is technically the second loop from the hook, and I'm just making a slip stitch, and then that is all done right there. Then I'm coming into the next stitch space of round number 3 and making a slip stitch, just like that. Now for this second hair strand, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Make a slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, slip stitch right there, and then in your last loop you're just going to make a single crochet stitch, just like that. Come into the next stitch space of round number 3 and make a slip stitch. Now for the next 2 hair strands, we're going to chain 4. So let us do that now. So here's how we do it. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the second loop from the hook, we will make a slip stitch, and this will be fairly regular. And then you will make 2 single crochet stitches down the hair strand. So that there is the first hair strand of chain 4. Come into the next stitch space, make a slip stitch, and do exactly that, and then we'll come back for the next. Okay, so we've made those 2 hair strands, chain 4. So now what we're going to do is chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by, oops, let's just get that slip stitch right. So let's do it again. Okay, let me chain again. So I've got to chain another 1. Okay, maybe I'll do that whole thing again, because it was a little bit loose. So let's do it again. Okay, I need my hook inside all of the thread. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch in the second loop from the hook. There we go, that's way nicer. Plus a single crochet stitch. Slip stitch in the next stitch space of round 3. Chain 2 this time, 1 and 2. Come into that first loop. Technically, again, it's the second loop from the hook, and make a slip stitch. Then you are going to make a slip stitch in the next space and make another slip stitch in the next space as well. So it just gives a little bit more of a gap there. And from here, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch first. Let's crochet that. Make the chain first. So slip stitch first in the second loop from the hook, followed by 2 single crochet stitches, 1, and here's the second one. There we go. So that is chain 4 right there. Then we come into the next stitch space, and we're going to chain 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll have a slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, followed by 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. beautiful. You guys are doing such an amazing job. Come and make a slip stitch in the next space of round number 3, and then you are going to, from here, chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch in the second loop from the hook, and then complete 5 more single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here is number 5. Slip stitch in the next space, and now we're going to chain 8, and I want you to complete this strand, chain 8, slip stitch, and then 6 single crochet stitches down the line. So you can see we're kind of repeating ourselves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and just like I said, slip stitch first. Now let's get that slip stitch nice there. So slip stitch, followed by single crochet stitches down the length of the chain, of which there should be 6 in total. So this is the third single crochet, this is the 4th single crochet stitch, the 5th single crochet stitch, and one more, the 6th single crochet stitch. Just like that, come into the next stitch space on round number 3 and make a slip stitch. For the next 4 hair strands, you are going to be repeating exactly this. So that was chain 8, slip stitch, followed by 6 single crochet stitches down the length of the chain. So you want to do this another 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's come back together after you've done that. And there we go. So we finished those 4 strands, total 5 strands of the chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've made a slip stitch in the next stitch space of round 3, and now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in the same way again, single crochet stitch followed by 5 single crochet stitches down here. Let's fast forward this or pause and come back after we finish this. And there we go. So we're making a slip stitch in the next stitch space. We're going to chain 5 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the same way as always, we're making the slip stitch followed by this time 3 single crochet stitches. So that's 1, 2, and here is number 3, just like that. We'll come into this last stitch space here and just chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a slip stitch and finish off with 2 single crochet stitches. 1, here's the second, and we didn't need to leave a space at this point like we did over at this side, because there is a little bit of a gap anyway. So we're coming in to that very first hair strand, just in the same space where it started, and then we'll just make a slip stitch and then pull the yarn through and give yourselves around about a 40 centimeter yarn tail. Cut the yarn, and here we are. So this is officially the hair that we want. So there we go, guys. We have now completed the hair. So let us now start with the hat.